Kia ora, my name is Neek Soto, you can call me Neeks. And today I'd like to talk about Super Smash Bros. In particular Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate. More specifically, a fighter that wasn't added to those games. A fighter that, to me, seems so obvious, yet the funniest thing is that most people wouldn't even consider this character a character at all.
I do not consider those redacted fighters, you know what they're spelled out as fighters at all, okay?
Let me give you a brief rundown on what Super Smash Bros. Is. Super Smash Bros. Is a video game franchise that released its first game in 1999 for the Nintendo 64. This game is all about taking your very favourite Nintendo characters and battling them to see who comes out on top. And as time went on, more games were made and more characters were added, until eventually, in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, third-party characters were introduced. Characters that didn't come from Nintendo original franchises. Those characters being Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog and Solid Snake from the Metal Gear franchise. It's strange to get your head around that, to be totally honest. You know, the most menacing character out of all of them up to this point would have been Bowser. Now he's standing next to a guy, you know, smoking, using actual explosives. In any case, as games released, more and more third-party characters were added. Once we reached the era of the Wii U and Nintendo almost died as a company, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and Nintendo 3DS was released. In this game, even more third-party support was added. Characters like Cloud Strife, Bayonetta, Ryu from Street Fighter, Pac-Man from Pac-Man. All sorts of characters were making their way into the Super Smash Bros. Franchise. You could now battle Mario against Mega Man, or Pac-Man against... But another character that was introduced in this game was the Mii Fighter, or more accurately, the Mii Fighters. The Mii Fighters were three separate characters, being the Mii Brawler, Mii Sword Fighter, and Mii Gunner. And the Miis were introduced as something of a create-your-own avatar kind of situation. See, on the Wii, which is the console that Super Smash Bros. Brawl was released on, you could create little avatars called Miis. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard of this feature because everybody and their mother had a Wii, and probably still has their Wii. I tell you what, if you dust that thing off, you'll find all sorts of cursed Miis on there, man. But the Miis in Super Smash Bros. Were just that, avatars that you could put your own character's face onto. You could dress them up how you like, and you could give them whatever powers that you wanted, because they are customizable characters. It's totally up to your own decision. And I really, really love the inclusion of the Mii Fighters. However, there is an issue that I take with the Mii Fighters. See, one thing that I may not have mentioned up to this point is that every character that is introduced into the Super Smash Bros. Franchise is a very faithful representation of who that character is in the world of Super Smash Bros. See, Mario can shoot his little fireball, Captain Olimar can throw Pikmin, Cloud Strife can be an edgy boyo, Yoshi goes into his egg, he throws eggs, he flutter jumps, Luigi is a freak. It's all so perfectly recreated to be a good representation of that character in this world, where they aren't exactly the same character, but they still feel like the same character. And you may think that the Miis don't really have a character to go off of, and that's fair, because every Mii is designed to be exactly as you design it. So that works. In Smash Bros, you design your Mii to be exactly as you design it. The height, the weight, the face, the hair, the makeup, the clothing, everything. It's all up to you, and that's how Miis have always been portrayed. That's why I appreciate it. However, the Miis have history. They appeared on the Nintendo DS, the 3DS, the Wii, the Wii U, and now on the Switch. And yet, in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the most recent Super Smash Bros. Game at this video's release, the Miis are still nothing more than just customizable avatars. And the reason that upsets me is not because I dislike how they're represented in Super Smash Bros., far from it. It's because I grew up with the Miis, and the way that I see them will never be just avatars. The Miis will always be athletes. In the first game that anyone ever booted up on their Wii, the game that came packaged with almost every Wii that was ever sold, a game called Wii Sports, that game features the Miis prominently. You can box one another as Miis, you can bowl as Miis, you can play tennis as Miis, you can train under the greatest warrior the world has ever known as a Mii. And I know that that's just our avatars that I'm playing as, but they are the Miis. No matter who you choose, they are still a Mii. And that is how I will always remember the Miis, as sports masters, sportsmen, athletes, Olympians even. Think about it. Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort, Mario Sonic Olympic Games, Mario Kart, Wii Fit Plus, these weird shovelware third-party fitness games, Wii Party U. The Miis, for better or for worse, are always in sports games. Games where you are physically active, where you play different sports, where you compete with one another. And I'm sorry, but in Smash Bros. There is no reference to that anywhere. In the Smash Bros. Games, Smash for Wii U and Smash Ultimate, you can play as Miis under one of the three categories that I'd already listed, being Brawler, Swordsman, and Gunner. And all three of those things are things that you can do in the Wii Sports games, kind of. If you squint, you can sort of see the Gunner, but that's aside the point. The Miis of Super Smash Bros. Were not designed with references in mind, which I think is a massive shame. The Miis have an extended history of sportsmanship, and that's shown nowhere in Smash Bros. I mean, other than, Woohoo Island itself. But that's why I'm talking about this, because I haven't heard anybody who's had this idea before. So just in case I'm that special little goofball that had this idea first, I would like to voice a character concept for Super Smash Bros. Picture this, right alongside the three Mii Fighters, Brawler, Sword Fighter, and Gunner, there could be a fourth slot right at the end of the character select screen titled Mii Sportsman. Imagine, right, a Mii that's more than just a generic brawler, sword fighter, or gunner is actually a quirky character who has history and references games. That is a fantastic idea, I reckon. Then again, I'm not Mr. Sakurai, so what do I know? So yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about. That should be a thing, and I wish it was. In fact, I wish it was so much that I wrote down an entire moveset. So now you have to listen to it. If you've made it to this far in the video, you have to listen to it. As I said before, I am actually quite a fan of the Miis in Super Smash Bros. So we're just going to follow the same basic structure that was set in Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate. Mii Sportsman will still be completely customizable, just like any other Mii Fighter, and you will still be able to choose what special moves the Mii has. However, every move, or at least most of the moves, will contain some kind of reference to a game that a Mii has been a part of. Look at the Miis we have now, right? Mii Brawler, punches and he kicks. Those are his normal moves. He's got a really cool down air, but that's kind of it. Mii Swordsman, he stabs and he slashes and he lunges and he jumps. It's all very swordy. No reference to any games whatsoever. Mii Gunner, she can shoot, she can pew, she can bang, pow, kablooing. She can do a bunch of shooty stuff, which is typical of a gunner, but is not typical of a Mii. You would be hard-pressed to find any of the things that the Mii Fighters in Super Smash Bros. Do in any of the games that the Miis have been a part of. Nothing reflects the games that they started in, nor partook in as time went on. And that's what the whole point of Mii Sportsman would be. A love letter to the origins of the Miis. So here's what I'm thinking. All of the moves would involve some kind of activity from whatever the Miis have been part of, even the weirder games like Wii Party or Wii Play. Games that the Miis have been a part of that sort of fit the bill of a sports activity, or at least an active activity, and use those moves, those activities and mini games and sports as the character's moveset. So, with all that in mind, let me go over what I've got written down so far. As I mentioned earlier, you'll still be able to choose the special moves that the Mii uses, but I still wanted these special moves to reference the older games in one way or another, so here were my ideas. First of all, for the neutral special, you'd be given 3 options: archery, bowling, or fencing. Archery and bowling are both in Wii Sports Resort, bowling is also in Wii Sports, but fencing is in the Mario and Sonic Olympics. Selecting archery would give you a special move much like Pit and Dark Pit's bow and arrow, where you can aim a bow up and down, just like you can in the Wii Sports Resort. Just like you can in the Wii Sports Resort. If you choose bowling, then you'll be given a bowling ball which you can roll in front of you, as if you were knocking down some pins. If you're in the air, then the bowling ball will fall straight down, much like Village's forward smash. And the third option, fencing, I was thinking would be just like the options that Mii Brawler and Mii Sword Fighter have for neutral specials as well. For the side special, the 3 options I was thinking of were Power Dash from Mario Golf Super Rush, Frisbee, and Cycling, both from Wii Sports Resort. With the Power Dash, it would act just like it would in Mario Golf, where you would run either left or right rapidly and bash people out of the way. Frisbee, I was thinking would act very much like the Duck Hunt Duo's Frisbee, where it would fly forward and rest on the ground, only Mii Sportsman's Frisbee could be used as an item by anybody. Once it's resting on the ground, it could be picked back up and thrown by somebody as a normal item, much like Link's bomb or arrow. Thing is though, if you've ever played Wii Sports Resort, you know how hard it is to aim a Frisbee and make it go the way you want it to go. So I was thinking anybody that's not a Mii Sportsman who throws the Frisbee would have a 50-50 chance of either throwing it well or having it just tumble around like it always does in Wii Sports Resort, you know? Final option is cycling. This would act very much like Wario's bike, only it would be slower and smaller. Now for the 3 up special options, I went with the Parachute and the Power Cruiser, both from Wii Sports Resort, and Bird's Eye Bullseye from Wii Fit U. Let me kind of explain my logic here. At the beginning of Wii Sports Resort, the very first thing that you do is jump out of a plane. Once you've said hello to your free-falling neighbours, gotten some high fives and some good pictures in, then you draw your string and your parachute deploys, and you shoot upwards and slowly descend down to the island below. Think of Peach and Daisy's parasol, only you don't get quite as much vertical height. Also, it probably wouldn't do any damage to opponents, I would think. For the second option, I was thinking a Power Cruiser. This is very strange, but it makes sense-ish. In Wii Sports Resort, there is a game called Power Cruising, where you ride a power cruiser and you just go around the island and jump waves, go through caves and have fun. It's one of my all-time favorite games in Wii Sports Resort just because you could go around at your own pace and explore the island. And one of the few things that you could do in Power Cruising was jump up waves. You go up to a wave as it's coming towards you and just go off the top, right? That's exactly what I want to do as one of the up special options. Think of Squirtle's Up B, right? It's like a torrent of waves going upwards. It would have the same kind of properties as Squirtle's Up B, only your Mii would be on a Power Cruiser, so it looks cooler. Finally, for the third up special, I was thinking Bird's Eye Bullseye from the game Wii Fit U. If you've never played the Wii Fit series, I don't believe you, but if you haven't, there are a whole bunch of different activities for you to play in an attempt to get fit. I'm not sure if it ever worked for anybody, but the point is, one of these games is called Bird's Eye Bullseye, where you shoot upwards and slowly float back down toward the different targets. I was thinking of referencing this game, but changing up the properties a bit. Instead of shooting up and floating down, it would be more shooting up and diving down, like many other up Bs. Pyro and Mithra's up B, Mii Brawler's Axe Kick, Ike's up B, all these different types of up B that go straight up and then straight down. Now for the down specials. I got particularly creative with these ones. The 3 options that I have written down here are the Baseball Mitt from Wii Sports, the Pole Vault from Mario and Sonic Olympics, and Speed Slice from Wii Sports Resort. So the Baseball Mitt would work as a reflect. Basically, you would press down B, the Mii would get out a baseball glove in front of them, and then if any projectile hits the mitt, then the Mii will catch it, grab it, and throw it back. The Mii would throw back the projectile quite fast, and it would multiply the damage of the projectile by a considerable amount, making it quite dangerous if landed. That's the thing though, it would be quite a slim hitbox, I would say. Now for the second option, I wrote down pole vault. This is an interesting one, I think. Pats on the back for me. With this one, the Mii would get out a pole vault. You know, a pole to stick in the ground and then launch themselves up with. I don't know, it just sounds interesting. Like you use it and then you can launch your Mii up, and as long as you're holding on to the special button, then your Mii will not let go of the pole. When you release it earlier, your Mii will go high, but if you release it later, then your Mii will go far. Does that make sense? Not really, I don't know. And finally, for the last down special option, I wanted to utilize the Speed Slice from Wii Sports Resort. In Wii Sports Resort, the Speed Slice game is about using a real actual steel sword and slicing items in whatever direction that you're told to. And in Smash Brothers, it would just be that. You would just press the down B button, he would charge up for a little bit, and then you would press either up, forward, or down to influence which direction the opponent that you're hitting is going to go flying in. So there you go, there are the special moves. The thing is though, that's the easy part. It's easy to look at all the different sports games that the Mii's have been in and say, oh yeah, that would be a good down special, that would be a good up special. What's not quite as easy, and also why I think that this concept hasn't really been spoken about that much online, is the rest of the moveset. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rapid fire through all the different moves really fast. I'm probably going to speed up my voice in editing, and I'm just going to say literally every single move and what it would be a reference to. Alright, ready? Neither, let's go. Jab would be a rapid jab where you swipe your coloured sword just like in Wii Sports Resort. The dash attack would be a long jump in Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. Forward tilt would be a left or right hook using a gloved hand like in Wii Sports. Up tilt would be using a fishing rod just like in Wii Play. Down tilt would have them pulling out a putter and doing a stroke at their feet just like in Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. Forward smash would have them swing a baseball bat like in Wii Sport. Up smash would be doing a lip trick from Tony Hawk Ride for the Nintendo Wii. Down smash would be a big old kick as if kicking a soccer ball from Mario and Sonic Olympic Games or Wii Party. The neutral air would be spinning around in place much like Kirby's neutral air. They would do different poses in reference to Wii Play. Forward air would be a volleyball spike from Switch Sports. Back air would be an aerial mountain boarding trick where they spin the board behind them from Active Life Outdoor Challenge. Up air would come from wakeboarding in Wii Sports Resort, where the Mii would do a flip in the air. Down air would be a swan dive from Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. Forward throw would have Mii Sportsman throw up their opponent like a tennis ball and hit them away with a racket like in Wii Sports. Back throw would have them spin around in place and throw them at a low angle like a discus, as in from Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. Up throw would have Mii Sportsman hold up their opponent like a rugby ball and drop kick them. I don't know if that's from any sports game, but that's my favourite sport, so I'm going to leave it in there. And the down throw would have them rolling their opponent across the floor like a game of bowling. Okay, there we go. That's all of the moves. That's every single move and what it's a reference to. You probably skipped all that, so let me tell you what the final smash would be. I was thinking that their final smash could have them jump up where they are and land in a passing plane, where they would then get into a dogfight with another plane. Both planes would zoom on and off screen, shooting at opponents, chasing one another, until eventually the plane that your Mii gets into pops the balloon of the other plane and it goes crashing down into the stage. Then the Mii would jump out of the plane, do a victory pose, and get back to fighting. And there you go. We just created an entire moveset. In the end, the concept of the Mii Sportsman would be, I believe, a very fun character, and that alone is reason enough to consider this character worthy of a character slot. But more than that, the idea behind this character is respecting what came before, taking the origins of something great, remembering it, and building upon it. And truly, I'm not sure we'll ever get the Mii Sportsman. Not really. I think the Mii's have always held on to the exact same image that they started with. Avatars. Nothing more or less than you on the screen. The Mii's, at least in the eyes of Nintendo, seem to have never surpassed that image that they have of themselves. But I choose to remember the Mii's as something greater. And respecting the Mii's like this moveset would only be the very best way to treat them in a game all about respecting characters. Oh, hello, I didn't see you there. Kia ora, kia ora, kia ora, kia ora, kia ora, kia ora. Kia ora. Thank you so much for making it right through to the end of the video. It means a lot. I hope you'll consider subscribing and checking out what I do over on Twitch. Also, watch one of these videos. You have to, because I said that you have to. I hope that you can see my face past the video suggestions. Click one of them.